You just fed your dog and he's already asking for more? That begging look, those insistent barks as if he had never eaten in his life. Is he really hungry? Or is there something more behind this behavior? If you've ever wondered why your dog acts like he's always starving, even after a complete meal, you're not alone. Millions of pet owners around the world face this same situation every day. The truth is that canine hunger is much more complex than we imagine, and understanding this can revolutionize the way you care for your best friend. Today, we're going to uncover what might be causing this apparently insatiable appetite. We'll discover when this hunger is normal, when it can be a warning sign, and mainly how you can help your dog have a healthier relationship with food. By the end of this content, you'll have all the necessary tools to identify if your pet's behavior is normal or if it needs veterinary attention. Before we begin, please leave in the comments your name and the city where you're watching our content from. Dogs' hunger is fundamentally different from ours. While we humans develop a complex relationship with food based on schedules, pleasure, and specific nutritional needs, our canine companions carry a much more primitive heritage. To understand this behavior, we need to go back to the origins. Dogs descend from wolves, and these wild ancestors lived in a world where the next meal was a constant uncertainty. Imagine a wolf in nature. It can go days without finding prey. And when it finally manages to hunt, it needs to consume the largest possible amount of food because it doesn't know when it will have another opportunity. This survival strategy became engraved in canine DNA. Even after thousands of years of domestication, your dogs still carry this primitive instinct. That's why many pets seem to devour food as if it were their last meal in life. It's not dramatic, it's simply instinct. Wild dogs also had to compete for food within the pack. The fastest and most aggressive ones got the best part of the prey. This competitive behavior still exists in domestic dogs, especially in homes with multiple animals. Have you ever noticed how your dog eats faster when there are other pets nearby? This apparently infinite appetite is, in large part, an evolutionary heritage that remains active even in the safety of the modern home. Your dog can't rationally process that he will have another meal in a few hours. For him, each opportunity to eat might be the last. But there's another crucial factor. Some breeds were specifically developed to have a sharper appetite. Labradors, for example, are famous for their obsession with food. Recent studies discovered that many Labradors possess a genetic mutation in the POMC gene, which regulates the sensation of satiety. This means they literally don't feel satisfied the same way as other breeds. Golden retrievers are also on this list. Originally created to work long hours retrieving waterfowl, they needed a lot of fuel. This elevated caloric need transformed into a natural tendency to eat more. Beagles present similar behavior. As hunting dogs, they were developed to have exceptional energy and resistance, which required a robust appetite. Even without going on hunts, they maintain this characteristic. Curiously, some smaller breeds like pugs and bulldogs also demonstrate exaggerated appetite, but for different reasons. Many of these breeds have breathing difficulties that can affect their perception of satiety during meals, and it's fascinating how genetics can influence feeding behavior so much. Some specific lineages within the same breed can be more prone to gluttony than others, showing how individual heredity also matters. However, this exaggerated appetite isn't always just instinct or genetics. Sometimes it can be a red flag that something isn't right with your companion's health. Intestinal parasites are among the most common causes of excessive hunger. Worms like roundworms, tapeworms, and hookworms literally steal nutrients from your dog's intestine. Result? He eats more but continues with the nutritional deficiencies. If besides hunger you notice weight loss, dull coat, or bloody stools, parasites might be the explanation. Canine diabetes also causes significant increase in appetite. When the body can't adequately process glucose, cells are literally starving for energy. The dog eats more, trying to supply this need, but without adequate treatment, continues losing weight even eating larger quantities. Cushing's syndrome, caused by excess cortisol, transforms dogs into true eating machines. Besides uncontrolled appetite, you might notice increased thirst, frequent urination, and a characteristic distended belly. It's more common in middle-aged and elderly dogs. Hypothyroidism in turn slows down metabolism, but paradoxically can increase appetite in some cases. Dogs with this condition frequently gain weight, even without eating excessively. but some develop constant hunger as compensation. Neurological problems can also affect the satiety center in the brain. Tumors or lesions in the hypothalamic region can make the dog completely lose the notion of when to stop eating. What should alert you to seek veterinary help? Sudden changes in feeding behavior are always concerning. If your dog always had normal appetite and suddenly became obsessive about food, or if appetite increased along with other symptoms like unexplained weight loss, increased thirst, or behavioral changes, it's time to investigate. But let's talk about a frequently ignored cause: the role of the owner in creating bad eating habits. Many owners, without realizing it, reinforce begging behaviors and food obsession. That begging look is irresistible, right? When we give in and offer extra treats or table scraps, we're inadvertently teaching our dog that insisting works. It's a vicious cycle. The dog asks, "You give in to stop the behavior," and he learns that being persistent brings results. Over time, this pattern intensifies, creating a pet that seems to be perpetually hungry. Feeding the dog during your own meals is another common mistake. When you're eating and offer treats to your companion, he associates your feeding times with extra food opportunities. This explains why many dogs become particularly insistent during family meals. The timing of meals also influences behavior. Dogs that eat at irregular times develop food anxiety. They never know when the next meal will be, so they stay constantly alert for eating opportunities. Leaving food always available might seem like a solution, but for many dogs, this only intensifies the obsession. Without a clear routine, they can develop compulsive behaviors related to feeding. Inadequate amount of food is another factor. Both undernutrition and overfeeding can create problems. A dog that receives insufficient portions will obviously be hungry, but an overfed dog can lose the ability to recognize natural satiety. The emotional influence on canine feeding behavior is more significant than many owners perceive. Dogs are complex emotional beings, and their relationships with food reflect their psychological state. Anxiety is one of the main causes of altered feeding behaviors. Anxious dogs can eat compulsively as a form of self-comfort, similar to what happens with stressed humans. If your dog shows signs of anxiety like destruction, excessive barking, or repetitive behaviors, food obsession might be just an additional symptom. Loneliness also significantly influences appetite. Dogs that spend many hours alone can develop a fixation on mealtime because it represents the moment of interaction with the owner. For them, asking for food becomes a way to seek attention and social connection. Lack of mental stimulus is another crucial factor. Intelligent dogs that don't receive adequate cognitive challenges can channel their unused mental energy into obsessions, including food. It's as if the idle mind found in feeding an activity to occupy itself. Physical boredom has a similar effect. Dogs that don't get enough exercise can develop compulsive behaviors, and the constant search for food is a common manifestation. The body has accumulated energy, but without an adequate outlet, it transforms into restlessness related to feeding. Changes in family routine can also trigger altered feeding behaviors. Moving houses, arrival of new family members, or significant changes in daily schedule can make the dog seek security in food. Some dogs develop specific emotional associations with feeding. If they were rescued from abandonment or mistreatment situations, they can carry traumas related to food scarcity, maintaining food protection behaviors even in safe environments. Now that we understand the causes, let's get to practical aspects. How to regulate feeding in a healthy way and create a balanced relationship between your dog and food. The first step is establishing fixed times for meals. Dogs thrive with routine, and knowing exactly when they will be fed significantly reduces anxiety related to food. For adult dogs, 2 daily meals are sufficient, one in the morning and another in late afternoon or early evening. The adequate amount varies according to size, age, activity level, and health conditions of your dog. Instructions on the kibble package are just starting points. Observe your pet's body. You should be able to feel the ribs with light pressure, but not see them prominently. If you're in doubt, consult your veterinarian for a personalized nutritional evaluation. Avoiding feeding table scraps is fundamental. Besides potentially causing digestive problems, this practice reinforces begging behaviors and can lead to uncontrolled weight gain. Human leftovers can also contain ingredients toxic to dogs like onion, garlic, or chocolate. The type of food bowl can make a significant difference. Elevated bowls help large dogs eat more comfortably, while bowls with internal obstacles force dogs that eat too quickly to slow down, improving digestion and reducing the risk of gastric torsion. Implementing the concept of working for food can revolutionize your dog's relationship with meals. Use food dispensing toys, snuffle mats, or simply scatter some kibble pieces around the yard so he needs to search. This transforms feeding into a stimulating mental activity, and treats should represent at most 10% of total daily calories. Use them strategically for training and positive reinforcement, not as supplements to main meals. Raw carrots, seedless apples, and cucumber pieces are healthy options with low calories. If your dog eats too quickly, there are several effective strategies. Divide the daily portion into 3 or 4 small meals. Use special bowls with obstacles, or simply place a large tennis ball in the center of the dish to force him to eat around it. Environmental control during meals is also important. Dogs that eat in busy or noisy places can develop food anxiety. Create a calm and consistent space for meals, away from distractions and other animals if necessary. Regularly monitor your dog's weight and body condition. Monthly weighings can help identify gradual changes that would go unnoticed in daily life. If you notice significant weight gain or loss, adjust the diet in consultation with your veterinarian. Adequate hydration also influences hunger perception. Make sure your dog always has access to fresh and clean water. Sometimes what we interpret as hunger might actually be thirst. Regular exercise is essential not only for physical health, but also for emotional balance. A well-exercised dog is less prone to developing compulsive behaviors related to food. Physical activity also helps regulate appetite naturally. Remember that changes in feeding routine should be implemented gradually. Sudden alterations can cause digestive and behavioral stress. Introduce new habits slowly, allowing your dog to adapt to the new regime. Patience is fundamental in this process. Feeding behaviors established over years don't change overnight. Consistency and persistence are your best tools to create new healthy patterns. Understanding why your dog seems to always be hungry is the first step to building a healthier relationship between him and food. Remember, not all hunger is real hunger, and not all exaggerated appetite is cause for concern. The secret is in observing, understanding, and acting consciously and consistently. If you apply these guidelines and still notice concerning feeding behaviors, don't hesitate to consult a veterinarian. Your best friend's health and well-being deserve all attention and care. Did you like our content? Then subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any important tips about your pet's health and well-being. Also, leave in the comments what animal health topic you'd like to see in the next video. Your participation is very important to us.